Okay, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Purdie Shuffle, what's become known at least as the Bernard Purdie Shuffle. This is basically a halftime shuffle groove. In fact, he's done a instruction segment on this. You can find a clip of it on YouTube. Someone else has uploaded it. And he does this kind of amusing anecdote where he's playing through it and talking, and he's like, halftime! Halftime! So, you should definitely check that out. Learn from the master. But essentially, what the Purdie Shuffle is if you take a normal, like, shuffle, something like that. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and you put it into halftime. You basically just spread out the snare drum hits to twice the length that they originally are, and it turns into this. But you notice there's a little bit more to what I'm doing than strictly just hitting a 2 and a 4 on the snare. I'm not just going. I'm doing what's called ghost notes on the snare drum. Little light taps in between the larger notes. Stuff like that. And so when you combine that with the 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3, you get this. Basically within that framework you can do a lot. You notice I'm moving some of my bass drum hits around a little bit, doing different accents. I'm moving the ghost notes around. Sometimes I'm opening my hi-hat. There's a lot of stuff you can do. And that's where I want to kind of go with this. One guy that has really taken the Bernard Purdie Shuffle and kind of ran with it recently, at least in some recordings with Cab. The fusion group Cab is Dennis Chambers, of course. And there's a couple examples of the Purdie Shuffle he does just beautifully on a couple Cab tunes. Of course, one is the song Cab, I believe, and I think that's from the first Cab album. And then there's another one, I get them confused. But the one song he plays just, I guess they'd be considered eighth notes. 1 and 2 and. He doesn't do the gallop. He doesn't go 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. He just goes. Another Cab song, he does the more traditional gallop thing, you know. And another cool thing he does is he also takes it over to the ride cymbal for the chorus of the tune. So he'll be playing the hi-hat, and then you know, when it resolves to the chorus, he'll move over to the ride and intersperse some bell hits. Some nice little accents. So something like this. I'll play a few bars in the hi-hat and go to the ride, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you could hear what I was doing is I was kind of almost doing a slight metric modulation thing with the bell. You know, you know, if that's the pulse, I'm kind of going. I demonstrated going from the Purdie Shuffle into the new metric modulation implied time, and then back into the Purdie Shuffle. So you can kind of do some cool things with that. Another guy that's used the Bernard Purdie Shuffle to great success is, of course, the late great Jeff Porcaro. And with his band Toto in particular, he brought this groove to really great prominence to a whole, you know, audience, kind of like you know, how Bernard Purdie himself did with Steely Dan. There's a couple tunes that he utilizes this in. Of course, the obvious one being you know, Toto's Rosanna from the Toto 4 album. You know. But also, from Toto's second album, Hydra, there's a song called Mama, which is not very well known. It's only well known among, you know, pretty hardcore Toto fans, like myself. And that song, I believe, is from like 79, maybe 80. But it's an earlier example, and not many people know of it or think of it. When they think of Jeff Porcaro, they always think of, you know, oh, Purdie Shuffle, Jeff Porcaro, Rosanna. But yeah, check out the song Mama from the Hydra album. And it's pretty much kind of the same idea. I don't think there's as heavy a use of ghost notes, but it's almost like the same tempo. You know, it's like bass drum driven thing, you know, but again, that's kind of an example of that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Please like this video if you like what you're hearing and seeing and you'd like to see and hear more. Please subscribe if you haven't already and pass the word on to your friends. And since this is my first video of the new year, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope all your musical and other endeavors are treating everybody well, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.